I made press-ons using only products from Temu. Is it worth it? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be making a full set of press-ons using only products from Temu. Will it be worth it? Let me know in the comments below. Let's get into it, shall we? I compiled all of my supplies that I would need yesterday. Well, I think hopefully it's all that I need. And obviously my lamp, but that's over there. And I'll have like a little flash curing lamp as well, if I need it. The only thing that won't be from Temu is my big lamp. I don't think that really matters. It's a UV lamp, they all sort of work the same, right? My stand is also from Temu, fun fact. I liked this one because it has 2 rows. So I can like label that and then it's all of one person's press-ons. Makes life a lot easier. These are the press-ons I have, the nails I have from Temu. They're just a long almond shape. I already have like a little key of all of my own sizes, so I'll just use those so that if I want to wear them I can. I've used these in the past for my own nails and they're not bad. Some of the stuff I already had from Temu anyway. But yeah, these aren't bad anyway. They aren't as sturdy, but for the price that they are, if you're on a budget, I mean, there is nothing wrong with them. I'm just going to put all of my tips that I already have the sizes for. I already had glue on these because I used them the other day. They're just found them on Temu anyway, but instead of using the actual nail tabs, I'll actually show you. I found them. So this is what they are. So they're just already that sort of shape. They're just a little bit big because I got the skinnier stand, so that if I had skinny nails they would fit, but I just like fold them over. I'm just going to go ahead and place all of these on the stands. Tips are all on there now, and I just need a file. Probably won't be able to see it very easily, but there's a little kind of like tip that's left on just from manufacturing, so I'll have to file those off. When you're doing this, just be careful not to like file too far where you're gonna end up flattening the edges out. Then it'll obviously change the shape of the nail and it'll look a bit funky. Right, those all done. I'm running 3 devices right now. I've got my phone filming this. I've got my tablet in front of me as like a little monitor to see what I'm filming. And I've also got my iPad over there with my design on it. So, gotta make sure it all charged. And then my phone is probably gonna die because I have to have my mic plugged into it. And I can't charge it at the same time. So, anyway, those all done. I might just use a little bit of acetone. So normally I would chemically etch these with like the Apray chemical etcher, but obviously that's not a Temu product, so you can't be doing that. Obviously acetone is not from Temu, but I can't really help it. These are from Temu. The acetone just kind of roughens the, it gets rid of the dust but also kind of roughens them up a little bit, just so that it's not chemically etching, but in a way it kind of does a very light form of what that does. I'm also just kind of buffing them all, cleaning them all just to make sure that there's no dust or anything. Hopefully have the application be a bit smoother and all that sort of jazz. I don't think you'll be able to hear it because obviously I'm using the mic, but my dog is outside of my nail room making a whole bunch of funky noises. I actually just get my acetone as well from a hardware store, so I'm in New Zealand, so it's called Mitre 10, or you can get it from Bunnings, but because I'm not actually doing it on people's nails, so it doesn't necessarily need to be like the beauty standard kind of ones, because it's just going on the tips, it's not touching people's skin. Which, if I was doing people's nails, I'd probably actually use that, you know, like from a beauty store. That's essentially the same thing, but I think it's just a bit more pure. Supposedly more pure, or whatever they like to tell us. I kind of like these stands because I don't know if you can tell, but like the tip of the stand's a lot smaller for the pinky nail, just because obviously the pinky nail's a lot smaller and you'll have a smaller tip on it, type of thing. You want it to clear, so it makes it a little bit easier, especially if you have people with like itty bitty little pinkies. They're like really narrow. I also do have a bin next to me too, which is very handy because I'd be creating a lot of rubbish. I also have these from Temu, which they can lock in place too, so like you can't press them down. I've had this one for ages, so it doesn't close as well anymore, but I've bought some blue ones because blue's kind of my theme, my business. But I've tried like the glass ones. I've got a glass one somewhere, but I find the top of it is a bit weird. So because it's got this in it instead of being flat, it makes it a little bit harder. But obviously the glass is good. I'm just going to do a layer of builder gel on these just because reflection, hello. Obviously these tips aren't that bad, but they're just obviously a little bit bendy. They're not super strong like their prey tips, but so I'm just going to do a builder gel, but then it's also is a good base colour. But these are from Temu, but I've just had them for a while. I'm just not sure which colour I want to use because I think this one might be a bit too dark. I'm just not sure. More of a mauve colour. Mauve colour. And this one's quite light. But I was kind of wanting it a bit more of a natural base, so I think I might try this one. And then if for whatever reason I really don't like it, I can redo it. Yeah, see, I don't want it see-through, so I may go with the other colour. I haven't actually tested these nails either. It's literally, I made a design which I'm following, and I'm making it with you guys. So if anything goes wrong, or even like this where I couldn't make my mind up, you guys are seeing it firsthand. Okay, I think I like the colour better. It's still kind of the slightest bit of transparency, which is fine. You guys, also, I am filming this the day after I got to 100 subscribers, and I know I posted a video about it, and I posted about it on TikTok. If you don't follow my TikTok, go follow it. I have the link below. I do all of my videos. But how good 100 subscribers, guys. I know it doesn't sound like much, but tell you what, if you were in a room talking to 100 people in front of you, it would be different. But I am just grateful. I appreciate anyone who has subscribed, and obviously I've been wanting to make this channel because I've kind of always had a little bit of a inkling to do it. I've kind of always loved doing nails, and always thought about potentially making a YouTube channel about it. And then this year I had the idea of making, well, I've seen online that some people were making kind of press-ons and selling them, and I thought that could be fun. Because I don't really want to do people's nails. It's just more human interaction. I already did that a lot for a job anyway, so. But no, in New Zealand anyway, you don't have to be licensed as such, but, you know, like a qualified nail tech, but you need kind of council approval, and you have to get kind of your space signed off type of thing, if that makes sense. So like get my nail room essentially signed off to say that I'm allowed to use it for like public, you know, I guess public use, and bringing people in to do their nails in it and that type of thing, which is not that hard, but it's a little bit expensive anyway. But yeah, I always thought it would be cool to kind of have my own nail channel, even if I don't end up monetizing off it, which obviously it would be good, because then it's kind of like a passion and hobby of mine that I'm also earning from. But I would think it'd just be cool to have kind of a bit of a community and people who are also interested in nails and all that kind of thing. I just think it'd be cool. It's also levels, like it self-levels really well. It's just a basic builder gel from, or buy a builder in a bottle, just from Temu, but it goes really well. As some of you may know, I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, which is quite a lot of watch hours. It's actually that's harder to get in the 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not saying 1,000 subscribers is easy, because it's not, but it needs to be that's kind of the easier target out of the watch hours and the subscriber amount. Oh, I also forgot to say, I will pop up the photo of the design that I've designed, which I designed in Procreate. I wanted a second screen, but I also wanted an iPad because I wanted to use Procreate, which seems silly. I can do it on my Samsung tablet, but there's just no apps that are comparable. And there's some people that have like created nail brushes specifically that I ordered from as well for Procreate type of thing. But Kate Marie, she's one who I originally found, and then I searched on Etsy and there was a few other people that do it. So she's just come out with her own brush line, and she has templates and that kind of thing as well, which makes everything a lot easier. So I just bought, I bought the medium bundle. I feel like designing it, I don't necessarily need any longer ones, unless I do some properly like XXXL nails, which I bought some from Temu. I can't wear them myself because of my job, but I bought some from Temu just to see, because I just thought it'd be fun to play around with and kind of create like a funky, like maybe a junk nails or just a full-on nail set. I haven't really kind of introduced much of myself on here, so you can learn a little bit about me too. So some of these products I have actually had for a little while. Even I sort of got back into nails a little while ago. Not quite a while ago. I ended up just buying some stuff off there just because obviously it is a bit cheaper, and there was some stuff that I wanted to try without spending a lot of money first. And then if I did like it, I could obviously buy kind of like a better quality, but sort of thought that was a good place to start. And I know there's a lot of controversy around Temu and Shein and all these. However, and no, obviously I don't agree with the whole like labour situation in China and Europe, but at the same time, I feel like so many companies, even if they're not necessarily like a cheap place, use like, you know, similar factories and stuff in China. So it's all going to be, just because it has a higher price tag doesn't mean it's necessarily made sustainably. And I like, if any of you know Mia Maples, she does that kind of thing, looking at all the sustainability of, you know, how things are made, and like clothes, for example, the materials of clothes and that kind of thing, which I find really interesting, because obviously there's so many like brands and companies that people think automatically because they've got a higher price tag it's going to be better or more sustainable, or, you know, the people that have made it are being paid a fair wage, but that's not necessarily the case. And I watched one of her videos yesterday, which I found quite interesting, about like buying the same thing from Amazon and Etsy. And obviously Etsy started out as like a handmade small business sort of website, but it's changed a lot. It's definitely not what it used to be. Well, it doesn't seem, I don't really buy off there, but it doesn't seem to be what it used to be. Like, it's not as much small businesses anymore, it's more, it's still a lot of people doing sort of drop shipped products, which kind of sucks because it was quite a cool website to be like, oh yeah, it's everyone's got handmade stuff on there and that kind of thing, but it's changed a lot. And hers was comparing the same products from each of them, and half the time, I think most of them, it was a product from Etsy was the exact same product or very, very similar to Temu and Amazon, but they were a lot more expensive. It's like someone's just hoarded them from Temu and then is charging a premium for them, which, you know, get your money, girl, but also you don't need to be paying a premium for stuff that you can get like on Temu, which obviously is made from the same factory if bought from Temu originally. I don't even know if I'm going to keep all my yapping in, because I may just speed these parts up. I need to wipe the top of them because they kind of still leaves that like tacky layer, like most things do. Okay, so I'm going to just take these ones off just because my design, those are only like a full other colour, like a full solid colour anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I'm just going to go ahead and do like a thin layer over all of them again, just so it's a little bit more opaque. I'm a little bit unsure what I want to do because I've got this green, which I quite like, but I don't want it to be too textured because it's one of the thicker like padding gels. Why don't we just do this and cover the whole nail? And then it'll also give it like a little bit of texture as well. Notice it doesn't add too much bulk to the nail instead of doing like another full layer of gel. It's actually worked out really well. Oh, couldn't even see it. Oh, it doesn't show up quite as well on camera, but right, I'll let this focus so that you can see. Right, I'll let those cure and then I'll see if I want to do another layer on top of them or not. So with this one, so I'm doing green and purple gradient. So I'm going to do, whilst I've got this here, I'm going to do all of my green because I want it all kind of the same green anyway. I'm quite happy with that colour. Maybe I'll do like a little bit more. It's like a super thin layer over the top. That one, and then the middle is just a light layer kind of around the edges. See, I bought these instead of buying like the actual like rounded mushroom. What do you call it? Like the specific nail sponges, because these were a lot cheaper. A lot more for a lot cheaper. And they're the same thing. Like these are still real dense. Focus. Like it doesn't have too many air bubbles, which is what you want. And if you see me like dabbing like this, it's just because I don't want too thick of a layer and too much colour in one spot, so I just dab it to get rid of the excess, and then you can just do like a really thin layer. Like these padding gels, it's the first time I have used them. but they're a really good consistency to create like a nice looking gradient using the sponge. Fun little fact, guys, too. My room used to be green and purple when I was little as well, and I had checkers on the wall, so that's got a row back. But I do think they are a good combo together. With the gradients on these nails too, I made sure to just have a really small amount on the sponge by dabbing it on the palette to get rid of the excess. And I cured in between each layer. I then repeated the process, staying closer to the edge each time to get a really good gradient on the nail. Once I was happy with all the gradients, I top coated the nails to seal them in. So for the leaf nail, I used this nice pale yellow gel in a thin striping brush to create the veins of the leaf. I think this ended up being a really good colour to use because it was quite a good contrast to the green background. I also got these disposable palettes from Temu, and I think they are quite handy, especially because you can just throw them away instead of having to constantly clean a palette. Now for the green stems on the strawberry nails, I used this dark green Lime Girls branded gel polish. I mixed it with the same green that I used earlier from the Patting Gel palette. I then used an ombre brush that's thinner at the end to create the textured grass type of look. And once I was happy with this, I went ahead and cured it. And then used the striping brush again for the thin stems of the strawberries. Part of my design included bees and the dotted trail from them flying like you see in the cartoons. I did intend to use black gel polish, however, as you can see here, it wasn't very opaque. I then remembered I bought these really thin markers from Temu, and so I thought I'd try those out instead and see if they would show up very well on the nail, and it worked really well. I was super happy with how these turned out. I top coated again over the nails with the pen, and I was just hoping that it wouldn't run. It was dry enough that it didn't end up running, and it cured them fine. Now for the Ladybugs, I wanted to test out this coloured mouldable gel. The red was very vibrant, which I liked, and it was very easy to mould. I just rolled tiny little amounts of gel on my hand to create a ball shape. I then stuck 2 of these onto the leaf nail, finished shaping them how I liked, and then cured them. repeated this on the other leaf now as well. I ended up mixing some pink into the red so it wasn't as vibrant as the Ladybugs, and had a bit more of a pink hue to it. And this is the strawberry mould that I used. I also got this off Temu. I pressed a small amount into the mould, removed the excess, and then cured it fully in my big lamp. Popped it out of the mould and repeated this for 4 strawberries. For my bees, I didn't want that bright sort of highlighter yellow. I wanted it a bit more orangey yellow, so I mixed a little bit of red into the yellow to make the perfect bee colour. I then shaped these by rolling it into a slight oval and placing it onto the nail, pushing down slightly, then correcting the shape if I needed to. The mould of the strawberries has the leaves at the top as well, so I just used the thin end of my sponge to give these a bit of colour. I had a lot of little white flowers in my design as well, and these took so long. As you can see, I hand moulded each individual petal of the flowers and flash cured them in between so they stayed in the shape that I wanted. I do think this was worth it, even though it took a really long time, because I think they turned out absolutely adorable. I then used my rhinestone glue to place the strawberries, which in hindsight I should have used a thicker glue or like a solid glue so that I knew that they would stay in place and they wouldn't slide around whilst I was trying to cure them. On the double ombre nails, I did a 3D gel just using a clear 3D carving gel straight out of the tube. I just did some lines and dots and I fixed them with the dotting tool if I needed to. I then added some dewdrops to the leaf nails to add more detail. However, I definitely should have top coated the leaf matte before applying the Ladybugs. At least I know for next time. For the details of the Ladybugs and bees, I went back in with my marker. I filled one end of the bug with the head, added the lines to represent the wings down the centre of the ladybugs, and then added the dots randomly. Did this on all of the ladybugs, including the tiny little ladybug that I did on the flowers. For the bees, I did the same, filling one end of the head and then added the lines randomly down the bee horizontally. I also added a little antenna for the bees as well. I decided the strawberries needed more green once I'd put them on the nail, so I just used a little dotting tool to add a bit more of the same gel. I finished these nails off with another layer of skirt, adding a drop to the top of the bugs to make them a bit rounder and stand out a bit more. I mounted the finished nails onto one of my nail baking cards, just using some nail mounting tape. And this is just a random wooden stick that I found on Temu. I don't even know what it's classed as, but I added some blue tack to the end of it so that I could use it to pick up the nails and place them on the card. It looks a little funky, but it does the job. And this is the finished product guide. I think they're so cute. My cards do have the application instructions and removal on the back. Credit to Nail Army who had the template. Actually so obsessed with these nails. And I would love to add them to my store, but it would be very expensive with how much work goes into them. So would any of you guys buy these nails? And if you would, let me know down below and how much you would pay for them, including the currency. So do you think the press-ons made with Temu products are worth it? I definitely do. That brings us to the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me create these, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, turn the post notifications on so you'll know when I upload, and if you haven't already, go watch my other videos on my page. As always, stay cute, stay polished, and spread kindness, everyone. See you next time. Bye for now.